Hello everybody, welcome back to another video presentation from Last Raps Baseball. Today we will examine the 2018 Topps Series 1 Baseball Rookie Class. With over 40 rookies in Series 1, there have been many players who have already made an impact early in their careers with their big league clubs. Today we'll focus on 5 that we think are a cut above the rest. We'll begin with Boston's young and dynamic third baseman, Rafael Devers. So here's the Rafael Devers rookie card from 2018 Series 1. All right, a little focus in action there with the cup card. Okay, Devers was discovered at the age of 14 years old by the Boston Red Sox. Devers was eventually signed at the age of 16 for $1.5 million. He got his call to the big leagues at the tender age of 20, where he hit .284 with 10 home runs. In 2018, he followed that his first partial season up with 21 homers and 66 RBIs and batted .240. But his breakout year was definitely last year. His breakout year was last year, where he hit 32 homers, drove in 115 runs, and batted .311. He was able to cut his strikeouts down from 121 to 119. But what should be key to note is he had almost 200 more at-bats. The knock on Devers as a rookie was his fielding. He made too many errors. In fact, his fielding percentage was only around 90%, but he steadily improved, where he was 92.6% in 2018 and 94.9% in 2019. He turns 24 after the 2020 season. He's a left-handed stick. And when I look at Baseball Reference, and I like the comparisons where we see players that are of a similar age to Devers and where they were at in their career, he compares well with Ryan Zimmerman, David Wright, Manny Machado, and eventually the Hall of Famer Adrian Beltre. So there's the Rafael Devers rookie card. For those who are looking to buy the card, obviously the regular cards on eBay can come quite cheap. A graded PSA 10 Devers can set you back almost $30, between $25 and $30 PSA 10. So if you're looking for a graded card or looking for something like that, I'm not sure if that's the greatest investment. A lot of the stuff seems to be the chrome or some of the other inserts where the cards are a little bit better. I kind of like the looks of the back of these cards. It gives you his Twitter, it gives you his Instagram. It talks about Rafi Big Stick is what Boston fans bestowed to him upon their beloved call-up in 2017. It gives you some information about the player on the back of the card. Kind of cool looking card, but these are the Topps cards of now, and there's no borders on the cards, and so that's one thing that I'm not sure I'm a huge fan of. So there's Rafael Devers, player number 1 in our rookie recap. Second player that we're going to look at is the stud pitcher for the St. Louis Cardinals, and that would be Jack Flaherty. Jack Flaherty statistically is really only a .500 pitcher in his career, but don't let that get in the way as he's just starting to take off. In 2019, he was at 11-8 with a 2.7 ERA, and this year they're anticipating that Flaherty is going to anchor the starting staff for the Cardinals. If you look at the back of the card, same thing. It gives you the Twitter account, it gives you the Instagram account that you can follow him on, and they say watching Jack's bold approach has been a pride and pleasure for the Cardinals. Other things about Flaherty, he fanned 231 batters in at about 196 innings pitched, finished 4th in the Cy Young Award. He's got not only got a power arm, but he's got October stuff, and October stuff for me is interesting, and that was on display last year against Atlanta, although he struggled against the Washington Nationals. Growing up in LA and being a sports fan of both basketball and baseball, he said that he likes to pick the brains of the likes of Adam Wainwright, Chris Carpenter, and of course the great Bob Gibson to give him some information and to help him become a better pitcher. So Jack Flaherty, one of the top 5 rookies of this class in our books. The next guy that we think is pretty solid is, of course, Dodger pitcher Walker Buehler. Walker Buehler, coming off another sensational season. There he is there. Okay, Walker Buehler. Coming off a sensational season. He was a 14th round pick of the Pirates in 2012. And of course, he turned those guys down and went on to play at Vanderbilt University. Buehler then was redrafted in the 2015 draft, the first round by the Dodgers. He made his big league debut a couple of years later in 2017 and had a breakout year, of course, last year. In 2019, he was 14-4 with a 3.26 ERA, 215 strikeouts, and 182 and a third innings. Again, another guy with October stuff. I like the power arms. If you're looking for pitchers, the strikeouts, obviously, and hopefully the wins will follow. Let's see if we can get this into better focus. There it is there. Dodgers drafted Walker in early 2015, knowing the former Vanderbilt ace would need Tommy John surgery before throwing another pitch. So taking the time, Walker Buehler obviously is paying off. Last year in the playoffs, he went 12 2/3 innings against the Washington Nationals in 2 starts with a 0.71 ERA and 15 strikeouts. Buehler, you know, he's his stuff outstanding. You know, obviously Clayton Kershaw. We talk about Kershaw and his struggles in the postseason, and Buehler has come in, and of course, you know, been lights out in his short time of postseason play. Last year at the All-Star game in Cleveland, he talked to Max Scherzer about his off-season routine, and this year he followed Max Scherzer's off-season routine. He didn't take much time off in the winter, and he's been throwing it all through, and he's all set and ready to go for the season, and Walker Buehler is looking to make another step this year. Our next guy is the Topps retail cover boy, Reese Hoskins. Reese Hoskins, this is going to be his 4th year in the big leagues. Hit 18 bombs in 2017, followed it up with 34 in 2018 and 29 in 2019. My biggest concerns about Hoskins is his declining batting average. His batting average is on the decline. He hit 259 and then 246, and then last year 226. He's increasing his strikeouts at the plate. He fanned 173 times in 570 at-bats last year, and he had which is around a 30% strikeout rate. The word on the street is he's watched too many good pitches go by, and he's swinging at too many pitches that are out of the zone. Last year, he did lead the league in walks with 116. With the lineup that they have in Philadelphia, obviously with Bryce Harper and JT Realmuto and others, I would think Reese Hoskins is going to get an opportunity to show what he can do, but also opportunity that he's going to see a lot of fastballs to prove that he can hit. Hoskins, there's the back of the card again, 2017. Obviously his Twitter account, doesn't have an Instagram account. That helps people be able to connect with their player and follow him. Lastly, he was a 5th-round pick out of Cal State University in Sacramento, and that's where we're at. Walker Buehler, or sorry, Reese Hoskins. The next one we're going to look at is Ozzie Albies. Ozzie Albies, the second baseman for the Atlanta Braves. The nice young core that they have down there in Atlanta with Ronald Acuna Jr. and, of course, Freddie Freeman at first base and others. The Curacao native signed in 2013 at the age of 16 years old for $350,000. Made his big league debut at the age of 20, and he really benefited in his early time with the Braves as infield guru Ron Washington had the opportunity. He had the opportunity to spend a lot of time with Ozzie in those first couple of years. Again, the back of the card shows his Twitter and his Instagram account. Again, ways for fans to be able to follow and connect to their favorite players. He's a switch hitter, and ironically, he didn't start switch hitting until he was in 2013. So, you know, that's a little late in the game for some guys to start switch hitting, but that's when he started to do it. His bat plays He was an All-Star in 2018 with 24 homers, 72 RBIs at a 261 average. He stole 14 bases. Last year in 2019, he won the Silver Slugger Award. Same amount of homers, 24. Drove in a few more runs at 86, but raised his batting average to 295. Also, his on-base percentage jumped by nearly 50 points. The reason he signed with the Braves was the connection that Andrew Jones and Andrelton Simmons had also played there, and of course those two guys also being from the Caribbean country made it an easy fit for him. He had the best fielding percentage of all National League second basemen last year. If there was one flaw in Ozzie Albies' game, it has to be his poor plate discipline and chases too many pitches out of the zone and needs to improve his eye at the plate. So that's Ozzie Albies. Well, those are our top 5. We're going to give some honorable mentions, and I think we have some guys that are looking for some breakout years, and in fairness, have produced some decent and shown flashes of greatness. The first one that we're going to look at is Brandon Woodruff. Brandon Woodruff, Milwaukee Brewers pitcher. Woodruff has had some solid, I'd say solid outings for the Brewers, especially in the playoffs. Last year he was 11-3 in the season, but he went 16 1/3 playoff innings last year and posted a 1.65 ERA. Big, strong right-hander. I believe he went to Mississippi State, and don't hold me to that one, but he was obviously the minor league pitcher of the year in 2016 for the Brewers. But Brandon Woodruff, again, you can see on the back of the card, there's his Twitter and his Instagram accounts. Again, ways that you can connect to the player. Okay, Brandon Woodruff. Our next up is newly acquired Boston outfielder Alex Verdugo. Verdugo, of course, stuck in the log-jammed outfield for the, let's see if I can get that into better focus, log-jam outfield for the Dodgers. Now joins Andrew Benintendi and Jackie Bradley Jr. in the Boston outfield. The left-handed stick should benefit from the friendly confines at Fenway Park, and I think that Verdugo is going to have himself a breakout year. Last year, Alex Verdugo hit 294, and was on base. His on base percentage was decent. But I think this year, playing in that small ballpark, we're going to see Verdugo's numbers really take off. So Verdugo is our honorable mention, but certainly a player to watch, and I think a rookie card that could increase in its value for those who are looking to buy down the trail. Our next up, I really like this guy. He was originally drafted by the Baltimore Orioles, Nikki Delmonico, but I have to be honest and say I'm not sure where Nicky's going to fit in White Sox land, if even at all. He's been invited to the Major League camp. I think they signed him to a minor league contract. He's been 3 years with their organization at the big league level. He's got a problem. He's going to be stuck in an outfield where they've got Jimenez in left, Luis Robert in center, and the newly acquired Nomar Mazara in right. I really don't know where Delmonico is going to fit in the White Sox outfield. It's too bad. He's one of those guys that you think of as almost a 4A player. Too good for AAA, not good enough to stick into the big leagues. And if I could bring that into focus, there's the information on Nicky Delmonico on the back side. Our next up is Cleveland Indian outfielder Greg Allen. Greg Allen is also in a tough situation. You've got Franmil Reyes, you've got the newly acquired Delino DeShields, Jake Bowers, Domingo Santana, also newly acquired. Bradley Zimmer coming off injury. Well, Greg Allen had some opportunities the last couple of years. The highlight for Allen is he stole 20 bases in 2018, but too many injuries and lost opportunity last year leave a lot of question marks. There's also some other fellas that are vying for spots in the Cleveland outfield, so it's going to be interesting to see where or even if he fits in. And if I can get that back into focus. Okay, there we are, Topps Baseball. He's got no Instagram or Twitter accounts. Another guy who's in a tough situation, Clint Frazier. I always like Yankee prospects. I always like guys who are with the Yankees and Yankee cards because they're popular with the fans. I just don't know if Clint Frazier is going to get the opportunities. You've got Stanton in left, you've got Gardner in center, and you've got Aaron Judge in right. And I'm just not sure that Clint Frazier is going to be able to crack that lineup in New York. Of course, he started his career, with the Indians, and then of course the Indians flipped him over to the Yankees. But hopefully Frazier gets an opportunity, and if not, maybe they'll move him for some pieces because I think the Yankees are going to be a pretty solid ball club in 2020. Our next pick as a future guy is Brian Anderson, the shortstop for the Miami Marlins. Anderson, if he was playing probably in another market, there'd be a lot of talk about him. Unfortunately, he's stuck down in Miami, and it's a pretty tough market and hard to play. He's a shortstop, of course. Hit 261 with 20 bombs last year in the for the Marlins. But I really think that Brian Anderson, if he was playing in a little bit different market, might certainly be able to get a little bit more recognition than he's probably currently getting. Trying to get this back into focus so you can get a look. There's Anderson Brian 01 on his Twitter account. Had some information about him on the back. I got a couple more guys to talk about. We've got the left-handed pitcher for the Atlanta Braves, Max Fried, and Max last year won 17 games in the regular season, had an ERA of 4.02. I'd be curious to see how he fits in moving forward. I mean, he might be one of those guys who will end up being an innings eater, maybe 180 to 200 innings a year, pitching in the 4th spot in your rotation. But I'd like to see a little bit more October stuff out of this guy. Of course, he's got a Twitter and Instagram account. He's another guy that spent time off recovering from Tommy John, which was performed in 2014. And yeah. Our next one is Harrison Bader. Hopefully, Harrison's going to get an opportunity to lock down that center field position. They say that Tyler O'Neill will be in left field, and right field's going to be Dexter Fowler to start the year. Well, Lane Thomas, and they have a collection of other guys in that crowded outfield. They're going to be knocking on the door for some playing time. But Bader, if he can stay healthy, looks like he's going to be able to provide some production. Hit 264, and then it fell to 205 last year. So, if he can stay healthy, if he's able to keep in the lineup every day, he's got the speed to be able to help contribute. We'll get this one back into focus a little bit here. There's the information on Harrison Bader. And our last guy in this set, somebody who came up early and had some success, and now he's stuck on the outside looking in, is Tyler Mealy for the Cincinnati Reds. And Mealy, what we see, he is right now, he's probably the 6th guy in a 5-man rotation. You've got, of course, Luis Castillo, and then you've got Sonny Gray, and Trevor Bauer is your 1, 2, 3. They brought in Wade Miley. They've got a couple other guys that are vying there, but Mealy, he struggled last year. He had opportunities to really take control and anchor a spot down, but he was 3-12 last year, and of course, 3-12 is not going to keep you in the big leagues, and his numbers weren't inspiring to go with it. So where does he fit in? Well, I think he's going to be a swing guy. I think he's going to be maybe a spot starter when guys are missing a start, and I can also see him being an option out of the bullpen. But they're going to have to make a decision on this young guy and see where he ends up going. Well, that's all for the 2018 rookie recap. If you like the video, please give us a thumbs up. Click subscribe. We are trying to do some things with audio. We're trying to do some things with our camera and getting used to it to see if there's other stuff. We're also going to be improving our internet connection because our live feeds lagged quite a bit. So hopefully this video here, which is recorded, We'll give you some solid information, a nice look back at the 2018 and older stuff. And please check us out on our Patreon page or our eBay page, and let's keep the hobby rolling. With that said, thank you again for tuning in, and we look forward to having you return next time.